Getting right into it. 53-man roster prediction. I mean, it's right around the corner. Final preseason game right around the corner. Season about to start right around the corner. We're going to be talking about this 53-man roster, maybe even guys that can play themselves on, maybe guys that can play themselves onto another roster. Who all knows? It's all next on the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast starting right about now. Welcome to another episode of the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast. My name is Keith Brugman. I'm not alone, man. I'm going to be joined by a couple. I got Trevor Salzman, the Rocket Man himself. I got Jody, the Judge Moncrief, but we're going to be getting into this 53-man roster. We're going to be trying to predict this 53-man roster, and I think there's going to be an absolutely crazy conversation. Can't wait to get it started, man. I want to say hello to my co-host, though. I'll say hello to the one that joined us first, Mr. Jody Judge Moncrief. How are we doing, sir?
Doing good. Excited to see who makes this 53 Tuesday and if we make any splash moves.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to break this down. We're going to probably be going through the offense first, so everybody out there, get that on your minds and get your mind wrapped around what Trevor Rocket Man Salzman might have to say, because who knows? Who knows? How you doing, sir?
Doing well, Keith. And yeah, exactly. Who knows? But I mean, who knows is going to make this 53-man roster? We've seen surprises in the past, and some of them, these 53-man rosters have been predictable. So you never quite know. But I think that a lot of players are playing for quite a bit, obviously on Saturday, and I think there's still some roster spots left open to be determined. I think Saturday's game will probably seal the deal for a lot of those players, for that coaching staff.
Yeah, coaching staff, GM, players. I guess there's a lot on the line if you really get to thinking about it, man. It's not just the players, but all those reputations come around. Who's let out the door? Who's left in and on this 53-man roster? Who's in the door right now? Well, Mr. Paul Schaefer was in the door first, saying, "I predict a trade for a vet inside linebacker next week." At least that's what he's hoping. Mr. Ernie Mays, always in here rocking it with us, saying, "Go Broncos country only, Bo Nix for 6. Hello, Keith and friends. Go Ernie. Go Ernie only. Yes, absolutely. Girl Broncos country only. And hello to Miss Pearl. And hello to an amazing sponsor we'll be talking to a little bit later. Good to see you, Pearl. Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick, evening horseman, evening posse. Have a great show. And Kenny Kirkpatrick, he's along for the ride because he got his predictions in as well. Gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and get it started off with the quarterback position. I think it'll be a quick one, and then we'll get to one with maybe a little bit more debate. But that being said, this is how it kind of ranked out for us in the quarterbacks. I mean, for everybody on screen, Nixon Stidham. But Kenny Kirkpatrick, the stepfather himself, he made room for Sam Ehlinger on this 53. Now, the Broncos have carried 3 quarterbacks for multiple years, but I'll just hit Trevor and Jody. Reasons why you think it's only a 2 quarterback room this year on the 53. Trevor, I'll hit you first, sir.
Yeah, with Sam Ehlinger, I think that he can be on the practice squad. I think there'll be some interest from other teams, but I don't think he's played well enough, I think, to earn that third roster spot, or in the quarterback room, I should say, be that third quarterback in this quarterback room. I think Stidham and Nix, obviously, Stidham's played, he's balled out all preseason so far. He's really looked impressive as your backup quarterback. I just think Ehlinger right now, I mean, to me, just didn't to stand out really enough to be that third quarterback on this roster. You would really need some upside there. I just don't think there's the upside there that you have with Zach Wilson, obviously, a year ago. And I think you can still stash him on your practice squad and probably be okay.
Very good. Kenny's worried about running the scout team, and that's why he has Sam Ellinger out there on his 53. But Jody, the reason you don't have a third.
Basically, what Trevor said. Jared Stidham balled out this preseason. This is his third year in the system. I mean, he's shown everything that you don't need a third quarterback, and you've invested a lot of money in this O-line, which should protect Bo Nix, and he takes, very few sacks. So, I mean, barring something freak injury or something, I don't see Nix going down either. So, to me, it would just be a wasted roster spot for a third quarterback.
Yeah, I just look at it as Sam Ellinger versus Zach Wilson. You're looking at a number 2 overall pick in Zach Wilson. Sam Ellinger, I think, can probably go unprotected, and you're still going to get him probably as your practice squad quarterback if you want him. I just feel that way.
I was going to say too, Keith, between Zach Wilson and Sam Ellinger, there's a difference also there too, because Zach Wilson, the Broncos had to give up draft picks to bring in Zach Wilson. With Sam Ellinger, he was just a free agent signing, and that's just, you don't lose anything by releasing him or him being on your practice squad. With Zach Wilson, he's probably going to get claimed last year, just former first-round pick. You already had a pretty good idea that he was going to be claimed, and so either you're going to have to trade him or you're going to keep him. And the Broncos decided to keep him. Sam Ellinger, I think you'll be all right, I think, on the practice squad.
You have to keep this in mind as we go through and make this this math all work. Kenny's got one extra guy, so he's going to have to subtract one down the line. And that might bring us right over to running back, because that's the one place that maybe we do see a little bit of a minus on Kenny. So Harvey, Dobbins, Bidet, everyone's kind of in agreement there. So we can knock those 3 out of the way. But then it starts getting a little bit interesting. Jody, I didn't have anybody else as far as running back is concerned. I'll hit you first. You had one additional running back. Audric Estime makes it for you. How does Audric Estime make this 53 in your mind?
Special teams. That's really the only reason. I mean, I think he's been, other guys have looked better at the running back position. But I think it comes down to special teams. You've got to field special teams, and you can't have a whole running back room, in my opinion, of guys that aren't going to play special teams. And I think that is one thing why I don't have McLaughlin on this roster, is he does not play special teams.
Special teams. I did not think that's the reason you were going to go with Audric Estime, but I'm gonna digress. I'll go over to Trevor. Not Audric Estime, but Jaleel McLaughlin does make your 4th running back. Talk about Jaleel McLaughlin, man.
Yeah, I mean, for Jaleel McLaughlin, I think he's done enough, I think, to make this roster. I mean, the only caveat would be is somehow, some way, Denver keeps Blake Watson over Jaleel McLaughlin, but I don't think you're going to get any trade value back for Jaleel McLaughlin. I mean, he's not Devon Vele. Most you'd get probably a 7th round pick, or it'd be a kind of a pick swap of 6th and 7th round picks. You might be able to make a trade happen that way. But I think Jaleel McLaughlin adds explosiveness to this backfield along with RJ Harvey. And it's just he's just a guy that I think Sean Payton really does enjoy having around, and a hard worker. I mean, there's plenty of people that have said Jaleel McLaughlin's usually the first one in the building and the last one out. I just think he does a lot for this locker room, and I think hopefully over time he can work himself into a role, maybe that gadget role that this team can use, another weapon that you can be a little flexible with. That's what Jaleel McLaughlin gives you. In that explosiveness you don't have with Dobbins or Bidet, and McLaughlin has that. He also brings experience running the football. If a Dobbins would go down, McLaughlin obviously has more of the experience over a guy like Tyler Bidet or even RJ Harvey.
So I'm going to go, since I didn't have either one of your guys, I'm going to go on both sides. Estime, the one reason I think that he could be sticking around, youngest guy on the roster, invested a 5th round pick in him thinking he was a 3rd round talent, and you've seen 1 year. It seems pretty early to give up on an Audric Estime already. Jaleel McLaughlin, on the other hand, I think this is your best opportunity to maybe get some value back and maybe produce one more trade. Yes, it might not be that much, but you got your friends down there in San Francisco and John Lynch needing a running back. That would be the first place I'd pick up the phone and start making a call. I think that there's a value at the running back position, and I think Jaleel McLaughlin might have it. Burton, Prentice, Burton to be determined. I think Adam Prentice is going to go ahead and knock Burton off of this roster finally. I think Adam Prentice is going to get that opportunity. I'm just going to say that right now. This roster stays young. We've kept him around. I don't necessarily haven't seen a whole lot of production through the preseason. Haven't seen a whole lot of production as of last year, quite honest, when it comes to Burton. I think that Prentice gets his chance here. Trevor, you're to be determined. I'm going to hit you real quick, and then I'll make Jody make a case for Burton.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, and Sean Payton has said it as well. I mean, they want to keep Prentice around. I just don't know if he's gonna necessarily need it to be on the 53-man roster for you to do that. I think he can be on the practice squad. He's already been out there, as far as on the market for a little while now. I think the last time he played was 2021. Obviously, he has that experience with Sean Payton, but I think it's kind of a wasted roster spot right now when you could elevate some of these guys maybe week one when you absolutely need a fullback like they did last year with Burton. I mean, Burton didn't make the initial 53-man roster a year ago, if I'm not mistaken. I believe they ended up keeping a fullback off the roster last year. So that's for me. You can get a little flexible at fullback if you absolutely need it. You can elevate one of these guys. I don't think Burton is going to get claimed by anybody either. I think these guys will be on the practice squad, one of Prentice or Burton, and you can elevate those guys when needed. But the initial 53-man roster, I think you can use this extra spot to your advantage in a different area.
Very good, very good. It'll be interesting to see then maybe at the tight end position if you're going to expose yourself, I guess you could say, as far as a fullback tight end. We can get to that here in just a little bit. Want to get to some comments though, man. And I'll load up a couple more slides as well. So a couple more comments, like good friend Mr. Phil McLaughlin came in here. He's rocking it with 100 stars. Phil, appreciate you so dang much. He's just coming in and saying, good evening, Keith, Rocket Man, and the judge. McLaughlin is also a possible returner. Don't forget about that. So you're talking about that special teams. That's one of the things that obviously has already been brought up by the judge, special teams, and now McLaughlin, maybe he gets his opportunity there as well. I don't know how thin we are at returner. We've certainly had some guys kind of showing out so far, but he does have that ability as well. Michael Ronquillo coming in here, 100 stars. Good evening, Keith, Trevor, and Jody. Go Broncos, orange and blue hearts, that mile high salute. Love you, buddy. Thank you so much for coming in here. The Ronk. Love him. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for being a part of the show. Can't wait to get into more of this. Like I said, I need to load up another slide, guys. It's going to probably be on that offensive side of the ball as we continue.
Well, while you're loading that, I wanted to add, I think I do agree with Trevor. I don't think Burton initially makes this 53. I think they'll do exactly what they did last year. They'll elevate him come week one, and that'll allow you to stash. And I don't know who that is, Courtney Jackson, maybe the wide receiver or somebody like that, to stash him like they did with Frank Crum last year.
Already changing his prediction on that he has on.
But I think come game day, I mean, Michael, because he doesn't have to clear waivers, they can release him with the handshake. Hey, I'm signing you right back. So I think come game day though, he will dress and be your fullback.
I want to get one other piece out there. If you cut or trade Jaleel McLaughlin, you save $3 million. Keep that in mind as well. I mean, dollars do come into play this time of year. You have a pretty stacked running back room. If you can trade him and get back $3 million off of your cap, yeah, that's a good thing. Gentlemen, we'll head to tight ends. And
can I say one other thing real quick? I also don't get he can also return. When have we seen him really do returns? I mean, he has not returned in games. He's not really returning in practice. So I don't really know where that notion comes from, because he's fast.
I mean, it's something in his bag, but like I said, I think there's enough that we have in returners that's not necessarily where we're going to turn for. Let's hit the tight ends, though, man. Let's keep this rolling because we got a 53-man roster that we need to get all the way through. We're making our way through the offense, and we're about a quarter of the way through the show. Jody, Ingram, Troutman, Adkins. We all feel good about that. And then it's like almost all over the board. I'll let you make the first case for Caleb Lohner. Trevor, I'll let you follow up on your reasoning.
For me, it's you drafted him in the 7th round, and I don't think he would clear waivers. I think another team, and all it takes is one team sees the same thing. He could be the next Jimmy Graham, and the way Sean Payton talked that up, I think that they are, and he may be the guy that you're trying to, with a Michael Burton going not initially on your 53 to keep a Caleb Lohner or somebody like that. So. And then Atkins, I have Atkins over Lucas Kroll just because Sean Payton kind of, I don't know if it was a slip or not, but basically said he is not going on short-term IR, and he basically is making this 53. He pretty much said that. So
there you have it, man. Additional reasoning why Lohner makes his 53, Trevor?
Yeah, I even agree with what Jody said. I think that another team would. There's a greater possibility that I think Lohner gets claimed than Prieskorn. I actually really love Prieskorn. I was just the other day when we did our podcast, our show, I was praising Prieskorn and what he did on the field and what he's shown so far. I think he's outplayed Caleb Lohner so far in this preseason, but I do think that Lohner, with his upside and his athleticism, the big body that he has, I think a team would absolutely claim him and bring him on. He's still very raw. I was back and forth on this one. I thought maybe there's a chance you could sneak him to the practice squad, but just knowing that the Broncos had to even draft Caleb Lohner just to keep him away from other teams, because if he would have went undrafted, there's a very good possibility he could have been elsewhere. I still think those teams are going to keep him, being interested in him up to this point, and probably still going to really like his upside. So I like the Lohner in this as well. And Keith, you can see that I don't have Lucas Kroll making this roster. Real quick, I want to make my point with Lohner being just his upside, I think, over Kroll. I think that's, for me, what's what did it. Kroll can play special teams, yes, but Lohner's upside. I want some upside tight end. Atkins and Troutman are your high floor guys. I mean, they're stable for you. They're your blocking tight ends, but I want a little bit of upside behind Evan Ingram. Caleb Lohner, I think, can give you that. Also raw, but can very much so give you that, and has the highest upside from all the tight ends behind Ingram. So I think that's why, for me, Lohner ended up being the guy also.
56 snaps. 56 snaps. 3 penalties in this last game. We see maybe 2 routes on his route tree so far. Caleb Lohner is such a project, and everybody knows it, that if somebody else is willing to pick that up and invest the 2 years you're going to need to get him to a Jimmy Graham-esque type of talent, I'm okay with that. I don't see Caleb Lohner being that big of a draft asset that we can't expose Caleb Lohner, especially what he's shown so far to me, you, and everybody else out there who's tuned into a football game. I had a hard time too. Prieskorn was my original one on here. Kroll, I end up switching it over to. I'm hoping that I can. It's really a flip of the coin. Who can I sneak through onto the practice squad? Kroll has a little bit more experience out there, a little bit more time. I don't know if he would not get picked up, especially his size, what he's been putting on tape as of lately. If you've seen practice, Prieskorn has had a fantastic preseason. I'm just hoping I can squeeze him through to the practice squad, because I'd like to be able to elevate him up as well. So I think Prieskorn's as Kenny kind of mentioned as well, is your guy that you're looking to be your next Caleb Lohner, your next project guy over Caleb Lohner, in my opinion. I think it's that quickly. If it happens.
And I would agree with you on Lohner if Denver had not drafted him with a 7th round pick.
7th round pick, though, man. 7th round pick.
Because the thing is you could when he was a free agent, you could have offered him the most amount of money. You've got the richest owners in football, and you could have, if that's the route you wanted to go. So there was a reason. I think there was somebody else that they were worried was going to draft him.
Fair enough. And if he gets all the way through the waiver and they feel like they could maybe pick him up, maybe he gets scooped up. It's just the way that it happens. Like I said, when you get this good as talent as a team, you're going to lose talent, even talent you want to go ahead and develop, like Loner.
He reminds me of the same thing they did with Frank Crum last year. I mean, he didn't show a lot to me in preseason or anything, and they put him on the 53 for a reason. So
I agree.
Very good. It's why we're debating it here. We'll see how good we are at this. It is very tough. Like I heard one person say it's like trying to do the final four prediction. You know, get your full bracket and get it all the way and try to get it perfect. It's tough. It's tough. We'll see what wide receiver brings to the table as we continue to go through the offense. We're almost done. Hit the halfway point, and I think we might be right on time, gentlemen. Sutton, Mims, Franklin, Brian. Man, write down first five, and Trent Sherfield. Those are our five guys. It's only Kenny Kirkpatrick who snuck another guy onto his onto his 53. Trevor, I'll let you go through your five. And I think we're all in agreement, but we can make some comments about it. And maybe the reason Jackson isn't on yours.
Yeah, I think Courtney Jackson, I think there's some explosiveness there. Are you keeping them for special teams? I mean, I can see why you would think that. I just think you can sneak him to the practice squad. That's really what it came down to me. But there's another wide receiver. Daquan Davis is another guy to keep an eye on. If they end up keeping 6 wide receivers, he could be another one with some high upside and some size that they could possibly keep even over a guy like Courtney Jackson. But for me, it was just 5. I mean, I think that you traded Devon Bailey. You got some value for him. I think you keep 5. Sherfield's going to be your special teamer. Brian, Franco, Mims, Sutton are going to be your guys. They're going to rotate. Sherfield, I think, will see some running a little bit in there as well. But I think your main focus 4 guys are Brian, Franklin, Mims, and Sutton. So I think you're just kind of keeping this wide receiver room together, minus Vele. So my biggest thing was a lot of these other guys, you can stick them to the practice squads. Why I didn't have them making the initial 53-man roster.
Kenny's pound the table said Jackson did enough to earn a spot on special teams. Oh my goodness. There we go. Kenny's stacking up the special teams. He wants Jackson there. Jody, your thoughts on your 5, and if you want Kenny's 6th.
No, I'm in agreement with what Trevor said. I think Jackson might be the one guy, if you do the same thing with Burton like you did last year, who you could possibly try to sneak on. If you do that with Burton, there's one guy that he's afraid of losing, and so I think that could be Jackson. That could be your 4th running back, Watson. There's some guys, but once Vele was gone, I think the 5 were pretty well set. And I think this kind of ties into goes to the running back position. That's kind of why I don't want McLaughlin traded. I mean, the backfield is crowded, and I think Peyton knew that he was going to have a problem figuring out who to put on the field, and getting rid of Vele made that a lot easier. You weren't necessarily downgrading at the position, especially with what Troy Franklin and Pat Bryant have shown you this offseason.
100% agree. And that's where I'm at. I mean, I think we have a strong 5 right here that we can roll out on the field. Yes, there's going to be some guys. Heck, A.T. Perry is working his way back, and don't be surprised if you see him down in New Orleans. It's a possibility. So, and that's just tomorrow. Wow, I can't believe it. Anyway, don't be surprised if you might see him out there. He might get a little bit of a run. It's another guy that out there that might be a practice squad guy and could very well be brought up. We talk about those big body wide receivers that Sean Payton likes. Well, there's A.T. Perry. Maybe we'll be able to actually see him as he's worked his way back finally, and maybe get to see what he's able to do. I just don't see Jackson making it as a special teamer, because I have another special teamer in mind as well. But I'm going to go ahead and say hello to a few out there. Karen is in the house. Karen, so good to see you. And like I said, last time you popped in, man, I was a little bit concerned, Karen. I hadn't seen you in quite a while. So good to see you again. And I'm glad that you're back and you're enjoying the show once again. Maybe we just took a little summer break. We all need one.
I'll add 2. Plus, I think you're carrying 5 on paper, but Ingram is your number 6. I mean, he's going to play wide receiver a lot, and that's why I see 4, maybe even possibly 5 if you keep Kroll tight ends because of that.
Love it. Yeah, I see that too. I see that too. I gotta say hello from somebody who's tuning in from Singapore. Peter, good to see you, my friend. Appreciate you no matter where you're at on the globe, I guess, going around, tuning into us. You're the best, my friend. I don't even know what time it would possibly be over in Singapore at the moment. I don't want to do the math. Let's hit the offensive line, gentlemen. We're almost at the halfway mark in the show, and I think I think this is what last position over on the offense as well. So we saved the big screen for last. Garrett Bowles, Mike McGlinchey, Ben Powers, Alex Forsythe, Luke Wattenberg, Quinn Miners, Matt Pert, Alex Palczewski. Those are all in line. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have Jody make a Jody and Kenny point for Frank Crum, because that's who you have as the one additional or different offensive lineman making this roster. Frank Crum again. Talk about it, buddy.
I think he falls into the same thing. Denver stashed him last year for a reason. You already had backup tackles as it was, and you kept him around all year on the 53. Basically, in my opinion, a wasted roster spot. So, and he was getting run this year, with the twos this year. They've moved him inside. He's played outside. So, the hard one for me was who was going to be your 9th offensive line. Who was the one true inside offensive lineman? And I had to go with Forsythe only because he took number 2 snaps all preseason. I've seen no one else take number 2 snaps there. That's really what it came down to for me. If there was a battle there at the center position, I would have thought one of the first 2 games you would have seen whoever, Clay Webb or someone else, get snaps with Stidham, and we didn't see that. So
very good. I'm backing up just a little bit, and I missed a couple of other hellos. Aloha to Mr. Patrick Wiltsey. He's always out there fulfilling refills for your Lion Coffee. Head on over to lioncoffee.com. It's what's in mine. I put it on ice, a little iced coffee tonight, man. That feels good in the summertime heat. And Mr. Michael Ronquillo, I didn't realize he dropped 100 stars with this, trying to do a little producer on the side as well as hosting. Sorry for Jody for cutting off your face whenever I throw a comment up like this, but he's all about Indianapolis Colts as one of those NFL teams who are all about Caleb Lohner after the 2025 draft. So we heard a little bit about that. That's the one he's going to be looking out for. If Caleb Lohner doesn't make this roster, if we try to squeeze him through and expose him out there to the waiver wires, 100 stars coming in from Michael Ronquillo, and basically his worry and concern that Caleb Lohner could be an Indianapolis Colt. So just watch out for that. Nice little prediction. Maybe not a trade prediction, but a loss of a player prediction from Michael Ronquillo. I'll head on over to Trevor. Clay Webb, man. Clay Webb, a name we haven't heard a ton of, a name that we talked about a lot when he was first added to this Broncos team, but you have him making this roster. Tell me why, my friend.
Upside. I mean, this is you just see. I don't have Frank Crum making this roster. I think with Clay Webb, that he gives you versatility on that offensive line. Why keep 3 tackles? I mean, 4 tackles. My bad, because you have Pert, you have Bowles, McGlinchey. So you're going to keep Frank Crum 4 tackles. I'm more worried about the inside, and in particular Ben Powers. He's, to me, on film, he's a little worrisome. The center position, I think, with Wattenberg and Forsythe. I mean, yes, Wattenberg's your starter right now. Can he continue to be consistent enough? I think with Webb, he gives you that versatility at guard and center. He's also got a lot of upside. I think that he's a guy that is a little more seasoned than Frank Crum. Frank Crum last year, I was about the upside. I get it because he's great size, and hopefully, again, he does figure it out and he's able to make this roster because from everything I've heard, he's a great guy. But, I mean, with Frank Crum, I just haven't seen enough for him to be on the 53-man roster. I think I would be okay if he could be on the practice squad. I think with Clay Webb, though, I think this would be a guy oh, by the way, the third highest paid undrafted free agent that the Denver Broncos signed. I think he'd be elsewhere if the Broncos did not keep him on the 53-man roster. I just love the upside of this guy, and I love the versatility that he brings to this roster.
And I got to go with the swing tackle. I got to go with Calvin Throckmorton. I got to have a guy that backs up Bowles and McGlinchey. I want a guy that, and Matt Pert has been great, and I think that he's going to make this roster. But what I've seen from Throckmorton so far, I like what he's out there and he's able to do. I think that he has a lot of maneuverability on this offensive line, and I didn't see it from Frank Crum. And as much as Frank Crum is maybe adored, I guess, in some way as a piece and a part of this offensive line rotation, I just don't see it. I don't see him making this roster. I like your ideas behind Clay Webb, but I'm going Calvin Throckmorton. That's the direction I'm going for this roster. Gentlemen, I think that does make the halfway mark as far as our roster got all the way through the offense. But I got to talk about our amazing sponsor, and it's Pearl over there at, well, Morgan Trinkets. Morgan Trinkets is your headquarters for Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, estate gold at wholesale prices. Once a nationwide company, now they're just hanging out in your backyard, northern Colorado, southern Wyoming, and putting on shows. I'm talking about fairgrounds, dog shows, gem shows, you name it. I bet Pearl's there. I bet Pearl's showing up, and she'll probably drop where she's going to be next here if she's still hanging out and listening in. But that being said, that's not the only way that you can get a hold of Morgan Trinkets. Head on over to Morgan Trinkets Co. That's Morgan Trinkets Co. over on Etsy. Etsy is a great place to shop, and Morgan Trinkets is there. All orders over $50 are shipped absolutely free. All major credit cards are accepted. They have silver as well, so check that out. It's all 100% sterling silver. Morgan Trinkets, again, fantastic sponsor, fantastic place to shop. Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, estate gold at wholesale prices. Morgan Trinkets Co. over at Etsy. Shop them today. Gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and, didn't mean to do that. Get started on the defensive side of things. Get rid of our offensive slides. One thing that I guess I might load up here and we could just knock out of the way. It'll be an easy one. We can start talking about it as I get it loaded. Special teams, gentlemen. All but easy to predict, I guess is the best way to put it. I mean, is there really anything to talk about? But I'll go ahead and put it up here. Will Lutz has been our kicker. I don't think we even brought in competition this year. Crawshaw and Fraboni, obviously the long snapper. That's going to be the three that we put on special teams. I'll just hit Jody first. Anything to add, my friend?
No, the fact that all three had no competition this year makes it a pretty simple three right there.
Yeah, makes it pretty simple, yes. Then Trevor, anything additional to add?
No, I mean, not at least right now. Crawshaw, for me, he's got the leg, but he needs to be a little more consistent. I think the Broncos are going to give him more time. I think they knew that when they drafted him. So I think they'll give him some time during the season to kind of figure it out. But he could be a guy that down the line, if you don't see improvement from him being a little more consistent, regardless of the leg, you may see the Broncos make a decision at punter and go in a different direction. I think Crawshaw right now is a guy, yes, but needs to be a little more consistent, I think.
There you go. I mean, I think that's well said, man. I'd like to have seen more from Jeremy Crawshaw so far. Maybe he'll have a chance down in the Dome, down in New Orleans. Maybe he'll feel at home there. There'll be some crawfish for Crawshaw. I don't know. Pearl, I don't know why. Don't ask me. Pearl's just reminding us as far as Morgan Trinkets is concerned, Labor Day weekend at Red Feather Lake. And then right after that, the next week, the Evergreen Dog Show in Greeley. So a couple places you could check out Morgan Trinkets. Gentlemen, let's hit the defensive line, man. This is one that I had a lot of debate on. It's a place I thought I might have to take a subtraction on. But Zach Allen, DJ Jones, Malcolm Roach, Savion Jones, I think, and John Franklin Meyer. We all have those in there. Trevor, I'll turn to you first because you have a name on here that you and Jody both have. I'll have him make a case for another piece on his roster because he has the longest list.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's Jordan Jackson. I really like what Jordan Jackson brings. I think he's outperformed Wazirike as much as I like Wazirike and his upside and his size. I think you have to kind of decide Jordan Jackson and Wazirike. I think Jordan Jackson has had the better offseason, has shown out a little bit more. So I think you can't really get rid of Jordan Jackson at this point in time. I mean, Wazirike, unfortunately, this is what we talked about. It's what Sean Payton has talked about multiple times. Unfortunately, you can't keep everybody. Wazirike might be on the move. I think if he ends up hitting the waiver wire, I could absolutely see a team take a chance on him. This is an unfortunate part, but I think a guy like Jordan Jackson just really does bring a lot more to the table and has just really proven what he can do so far. He's been the most consistent one. That's why I have Jordan Jackson making this roster over Wazirike.
You didn't have to make the choice, Jody. The judge, his decision was Jordan Jackson and Wazirike. Tell me why you decided to keep a heavy defensive line rotation like this.
One of the big reasons is what we've seen in Buffalo last year. We got ran all over last year in Buffalo, and I think they're going to want to keep this O-line fresh with some different rotational pieces. I mean, they kept Wazirike around a whole year after this gambling thing for a reason. I think that's one of the reasons that I think he makes his roster, and then I'm in agreement with Jordan Jackson. If it comes down to both of those, I'm keeping Jordan Jackson over Wazirike. But in the end, with what they do in the back half of what I've kept, I think this is where they go heavy.
Fair enough. I wanted to. I like Jordan Jackson, and I think he does help fill the middle. And I don't think this is a guy that'd be easy to squeak onto the practice squad. It's a place that I could very well be wrong, and maybe I am, and that wouldn't be the worst thing to be wrong in this particular instance, because I think Jordan Jackson is a talent, and I couldn't make the math work. It's simple as that, man. You'll see where my math differs maybe a little bit here down the road, man. But for me, yeah, it was tough decisions. This is why George Payton, Sean Payton, all the coaches, all the rooms, they're sitting there. They're trying to put this all together. They're trying to figure this out. They're burning the midnight oil, and they know that they're making life-changing decisions for players and families and the like. So, gentlemen, let's get to the edge. Let's make it a little bit easier. Trevor, I'll just hit you first, man. What do you think about the room, and how strong is it? Is it one of the strongest rooms? It's obviously one of the ones we all come to agreement on.
Yeah, I think it's a strong room, and I think that you have your 5 guys in this room that's going to make this roster, and it's pretty clear. You've invested into these guys, and I think going forward, this is the group that they will roll with, and I don't think there's any need really to keep 6 edge rushers on this roster.
Fair enough. No reason to go any deeper. He's pretty content with the room. Is it the best room though, Judge? Do you think this is the best room that we have? It was one of the easiest ones we've put together, obviously.
If it's not the best room, it's probably second behind our cornerbacks. I really love our depth there.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. I hope I got all these right, man, because I see I have a couple of duplicates in here, man. I'm going to go from edge to inside linebacker.
I have a question real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Quick on the edge. Do you think Micah Parsons or Trey Henderson is 100% out of the question and Benito just gets signed, or is there a possibility that he gets moved for one of those 2 players?
I would say Trey Hendrickson would probably be your best opportunity if you're going to go between the 2 of them. I think that's a piece that makes the most sense. The size, the speed, his ability to get upfield, what he would bring to this particular defense is, I think, something different that we really don't have. I know Micah Parsons is a freak athlete, but I think everything that you have at that edge rush position, I don't know. I don't see any reason to bring over a Micah Parsons per se. I think it comes with more than just obviously Nick Benito.
And I just bring Parsons up because some of the stuff that's come out of Dallas the last couple of days, it's not going well there.
Yes, I agree. It's not going well there. Trevor, any thoughts on that before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you need to kind of see what you have with Nick Bonito. I kind of feel like we're right in the middle of things. I mean, you really want to believe in this guy. He's got a lot of upside, of course, but you need to see another season of it. I think with Nick Bonito, I think you need to see what he's got. And I think with Henderson, yes, Hendrickson, I think that he would be obviously an upgrade. And I think Market Parsons would be too. But just think what you're going to have to give up as far as draft capital wise. To go get guys like that, because it won't just be obviously a swap with Nick Benito, Hendrickson, or Parsons or Benito. It's going to be serious draft capital. We're talking about having to go get those guys, and then also on top of probably a pretty big extension as well.
Yeah, just to weigh in, Peter Johnson says Hendrickson is too old in his opinion, and Parsons will be a franchise. Will set the franchise back financially. The team will lose some good pieces if they go after Parsons, not to mention the loss of potential draft picks as well. Gentlemen, let's hit that inside linebacker position. Singleton, Greenlaw, Sternad, Lavelle Bailey, Jody. They were your strong four. Talk about why they're your strong four.
They were really the only one. Sternad and Bailey were the only ones that stood out to me in preseason. We knew Singleton and Greenlaw are going to be your starters, and I think Sanders. I think he will be back probably week 5, week 6. So if you can keep Singleton and Greenlaw healthy by then, I don't really think there's a need to go get somebody or carry another linebacker. So, and plus those bottom two, they're core special teams guys. So,
yeah, Sternad, Lavelle Bailey, they're going to be participating there as well. Absolutely, I agree with that. I like the strength of those four. I don't see Sanders back with this team, quite honestly. I think that he'll be released outright. I don't think that they're going to be in a rush to necessarily bring him back to this 53-man roster. We've tried multiple years, multiple injuries, multiple positions. At some point, you need to move on. And maybe that's the reason that Trevor thinks that we need to have a little bit more depth, maybe with some injuries. That'd be my guess. Trevor, am I right?
Yeah, absolutely right. Jordan Turner, I mean, this is also a guy for first and foremost, that stuck out to me as well. I do think you need to add another inside linebacker to this room with Singleton and Greenlaw. Greenlaw has played all preseason, really hasn't been on the field much since signing here in Denver. Singleton, we obviously know the serious injury he's coming off. So you have your two predicted starting inside linebackers coming off major injuries. I think you need added depth there. I don't just want to go with Sternad and Lavelle Bailey there. I think you need at least one more guy. So I have, in this case, Jordan Turner making this roster, but I think I could absolutely see them going in a different direction and adding another inside linebacker to this room.
Very good. That was a prediction earlier as well from one of the posse members that maybe we add a veteran inside linebacker. Maybe it's not a Jordan Turner in that particular instance, and we go a different direction. It'll be interesting to see. Waiver wire, is a fun time as well. So what comes about for the Denver Broncos could be from other teams could be interesting.
I have a question. If they only go 4 linebackers and you think they go get somebody from somewhere else, who goes, Sternad or Bailey?
Me or Trevor?
Both of you guys.
Boy, you could. It doesn't even have to be out of this room. I think it could be out of a different room, quite honestly, and that's where I would go. I still have a reserve, extra roster spot that you guys haven't utilized here. I mean, for Trevor, I guess for him it'd be Turner for the obvious one. For me, it'd be not out of this room. I'd still keep the 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I keep the 4 as well. I think for me, I mean, at 2 points with Turner, I think first of all he's balled out, but also you can just add somebody else to this room. That's why I wanted 5 in this room, just in case something would happen. Extra insurance, in that inside linebacker room. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't think you get rid of Sternad or Bailey. I think both those guys will end up making this roster and very much so deserving.
How soon till Sanders is back? You guys, do you think he's back, or do you think he's somebody they now just?
He's gone, in my opinion. He's gone.
Well, I think
John.
I think he's so far behind when he comes back, and if he's recovered, and you can't possibly rely upon him this season to do anything. I mean, he was still trying to figure out how to play inside linebacker and played at a very high level because they kept moving him back from edge rusher to inside linebacker. So even when he comes back, he's going to be behind the 8 ball, and I think it's unrealistic to expect anything big out of him this season.
Let's hit the cornerback room, gentlemen. I can't believe how this actually played out, man. We've been somewhat debating about this cornerback room this offseason, but we're all in full alignment. Surtain Moss, Jade Barron, Jaquan McMillan, and Chris Abrams-Drain. I'm going to go ahead. I know seems like I've been turning to Jody on a few of these. I promise, Trevor, I'll go to you next on the next one. But Jody has been all about Chris Abrams-Drain. It seems like this preseason, and called him out a few times. Is this the biggest surprise? Is his elevation of obvious 53-man lock on this roster?
No, I don't think so. I mean, he made the 53 last year. I think he's just taken that natural progression where he's very much surpassed like a Davari Mathis, people like that. He plays special teams, and I have no problem if knock on wood, Pat Surtain or Riley Moss go down, that you can start an Abrams-Drains out there. I mean, we seen him play in LA last year. He had an interception last year of Herbert. So I think they're in good position, and I think down the road, if you think you're a serious contender, you're 6-2, 7-1, somewhere in there, and you feel like you're one little piece short, Abrams-Drains allows you, and Barron is developing like you think. This allows you to possibly trade McMillan to go get that final piece that you think to put you over the edge. Because of an Abrams-Drains, basically.
Well said, my friend. Well said. Anything to add, Trevor?
No, I mean, I think this is the strongest room on the defense side of the ball. These guys are just in particular are huge, and just goes to show Jahadi Barron, that draft pick was huge for this defense and going to be huge for the secondary. The flexibility that he's going to be able to bring you and spare Jaquan McMillan a little bit and Abrams-Drain, let those guys kind of continue to develop and just not have to be, step up as much. I think it's absolutely huge, and I just love what this cornerback room is looking like and the depth that the Broncos were able to add.
Yeah, Peter Middleton, great cornerbacks. Graham, whoa, Surtain is a surprise. I see Michael. He dropped a hurry up question, so we'll make sure that we hit the hurry up before we get out of here. I want to hit that on the way out because I think that's a great way to maybe hurry up out of what we're doing. But we're gonna move right along, man, as we pile through the defensive side of the ball onto the safety position. This is where, like I said, I got a little bit of flexibility. I feel like if I needed to make some room. Jody, you kept 4. Me and Trevor added a piece. Talk about the 4 that you put up there, what they mean to this roster, man.
I basically kept 4 because I went a little heavy on the defensive line. If they go the opposite route, then I would add a Sam Franklin. I mean, you went out and signed him in the offseason. To me, it would be between Sam Franklin and Devon Keys. I mean, he started games last year. So of all the positions, that was the one that I had the trouble with. I think Skinner has balled out the most in preseason, so I think he's a lock. And I think Locke, I want to see him with the starters just to see how he looks with his back 100%. I mean, he's one of the reasons you let Justin Simmons go. So see how he progresses now that he's got the injury fixed. But yeah, those are the 3: Franklin, Keys, and those 2. If you're going to keep 5, Franklin or Keys, who's the 5th?
Well, then I'll let Trevor go ahead and start the debate then. You're keeping Sam Franklin. Your reasoning for Sam Franklin making this the 5th safety on this Denver Broncos roster.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's 3 legit safeties with Locke being able to kind of go back and forth and play a little bit of everywhere. Hufanga signing not only give Denver a boost, as far as in the starting lineup, but it's also going to allow PJ Locke to kind of move around a little bit. Skinner and Franklin are special teamers for me. That's where I kind of went heavy. And if you remember last year, the Broncos ended up keeping 5 safeties as well. So I think you could kind of notice from last year's roster to this year's roster, I kind of compared them a little bit to what Sean Payton, George Payton were kind of thinking, how they want to build their initial 53-man roster. So Franklin gives you that vet, on special teams. I think Darren Rizzi is going to really want a veteran on special teams. And I was back and forth, not going to lie, Keith, with Devon Key and Sam Franklin, but Franklin for me gets the nod a little bit more just from special teams reasons.
Fair enough, man. And that's the reasons I'm looking at it. Devon Key's been big on special teams, in my opinion. He's obviously contributed over the last few years. And then the opportunity to step in last year, as Jody mentioned, he actually got some time out on the field as far as starting games. I haven't seen enough from Sam Franklin. I know that we went out there and we went out and signed him, and I know that's money down the drain possibly, but I haven't seen enough to tell me that Sam Franklin makes this roster over Devon Key. So for me, Devon Key is the way I'm going, and I guess I'm sticking it to it until Tuesday around 2 p.m. when we get our 53-man roster submitted, and that'll be a fantastic podcast as we line up on Tuesday for a 53-man roster reaction show. I'm sure there'll be some prizes, man. I'm trying to think. Did we miss any positions on the defense? Inside linebacker, edge, defensive line, safeties, cornerbacks. I think that was it.
Yeah. I will add the reason that I have 4 inside linebackers is 2 guys in the secondary, Hufanga and Jahdae Barron. I think we will be in nickel and dime a lot, and those guys, those are your jokers. Those are the guys that'll come down into the box and stuff. So I think Hufanga especially is going to be almost like another linebacker in certain situations down in the box. So
all over the place, man. All over the place. Another reason I guess I kept a little bit of depth. You guys talked about inside linebacker. Once again, how much caution do you want to have around injuries, or give guys time to make sure that injuries don't progress or get worse? We already saw Dre Greenlaw has some issues. Hufanga's been good. Hufanga's been pretty good so far, so no real concerns there, I guess, per se. But, until things prove out, you do need a little bit of depth in places as well. So we'll figure this out, man. Hopefully, the strength and conditioning is up to snuff, gentlemen. I want to get to.
I don't think it really matters. You could keep 100 inside linebackers. If Dre Greenlaw goes down, you're in a lot of trouble. Really, it doesn't. You're back to the same situation as last year with average linebackers. Really,
yeah.
So I don't care what depth you have there. If Greenlaw was the home run signing, he's got to stay healthy.
You don't have Cody Barton. It's all good, though. It's all good. All right, gentlemen. Let's hit a hurry up.
Let's go.
All right, man. Michael Ronquillo comes in. He says, this is a hurry up from him. He says, which players on the Denver Broncos offense and defense need to step up to make the Denver Broncos 53-man roster? Go, Bo Broncos, orange and blue hearts, mile high salute. Gentlemen, we kind of talked about this, and we can tie this all together right now. Players that have that opportunity maybe had to go out there down in New Orleans on Saturday. Man, we're almost 13 hours away, 13 and a half hours away from kickoff. How many? Give me one player. We'll just go one at a time. Trevor, I said I could go to you because I've been passing you over. I'll go to you first, man. Trevor, one player that you think they could earn his way on that you didn't have onto this 53.
Oh, I'm going to say Frank Crum. I mean, I kind of just bashed him a little bit. And not bashed him, and just kind of pointed out my concerns. I think if he steps up and he kind of shows that he can be better in pass blocking, I think the upside's there enough where they would probably keep him around. But that's one guy that I think will need to have a good game, to be able to make this initial 53-man roster. I think right now it's just a little shaky, and he hasn't shown quite enough to be on the 53-man roster yet again the second season.
All right. Jody, you got one?
Audric Estime, I have him on my 53, but I don't have that in black marker. So Audric Estime has to do something to show that he deserves to be on this 53. I have him on here solely because of special teams, but he needs to, and this comes from Peyton too. Peyton has to, if he's going to keep him, he's got to use him too. But in what we've seen in preseason, he has not looked. He trucked one guy, but he's not really done anything, in my opinion.
All right, I'll go around. It was a name that we talked about quite a bit, and I told you I really like to have him on this roster. I'll go Prieskorn. If he goes out there, I don't think he needs to have a good game, but if he goes out there and he has yet another fantastic game, I mean, Prieskorn and Sherfield were some of the better highlights from lower roster, expectation players that I've seen out there. Prieskorn does it again. I can't keep him off of my 53-man roster. I'm going to get to the comments here in just a second, but I want to leave Michael's question up here. I'll just go one more round, and I'll go with Trevor. Do you have any more that you could think that could eke their way on with a good performance here in versus New Orleans?
Yeah, can I give you two more one on offense,
Yeah,
one on
go
defense? So one on offense that I just can't believe I didn't say his name. Blake Watson for me. I mean, he made this initial 53-man roster last season. Right now, it seems like he's gotten kind of passed up by Tyler Bidet and Jaleel McLaughlin. I think he needs to step up and show what he can do to this coaching staff because as of right now, at least for me too, I mean, he's not making the 53-man roster. So I think that's another guy in that running back room that has to step up and have a good game so he can prove and kind of maybe overjump a guy like Tyler Bidet, or maybe Denver could move on from a guy like Jaleel McLaughlin. So for me, Blake Watson. And the other guy for me is Wazirike on defense side of the ball. I think he's really got to show out and show something because up to this point, at least in game action, he hasn't really shown a lot. A guy like Jordan Jackson has outperformed him. So Wazirike has had to go out there and show, hey, this is what I can do. This is the kind of upside I have. This is the reason why you should keep me.
All right, so we're talking players that could possibly make the 53. Jody, any more that you have?
Lucas Kroll for me. I think Evan Ingram and Troutman are set, and Nate Atkins with really what Sean Payton said that he's not going on short-term IR, and he's basically making this 53. So Lucas Kroll, for if he balls out, you might see 5 tight ends just because Evan Ingram is going to play wide receiver so much. That would be the one guy for me.
Fair enough. I'll go right on to that defensive line. That'll be my last one. Jordan Jackson. I didn't have him on this defensive line. I said I wanted to find a way to try to get him on here. I think that he is a huge asset. I don't know if you could sneak him past the waiver wire onto the practice squad. So Jordan Jackson for me is that one. He has another fantastic game down in New Orleans. You got to rearrange things at that point. You got to figure it out, and you got to find a way to get him onto this roster. I got to hit everybody on here that's been chiming in. Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick says it's Caleb Lohner for me. Mr. Michael Ronquillo, the gentleman who asked the question, said tight end Caleb Lohner for me as well, Kenny. Blake Watson makes the 53. Calling it, says Paul Schaefer. Peter Johnson, if Courtney Jackson, number 89, I think that is his name. I think you're right. Has a big game returning. I think they keep him, says Peter Johnson. Man, I love it, man. Absolutely just dropping comments and thoughts, and that's what it's all about, Posse. Appreciate you. Cannot drop Skinner, though, says Peter Johnson. Just not going to happen there. Tough call. I might get a second round cat around 10 to entertain my I don't know. We went someplace else there. I'm not really sure. Lucas Kroll would be my second, says Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick. Pearl's going to be watching that football game. Hopefully everybody's tuning in. Karen, I wanted to drop this as well. Karen chimed in, and I think this is very poignant because it talks a lot about the culture. Peyton only wants to trade players when it benefits the player and team, so it's always a win-win where he can. Players want to play for him. Yeah, I mean, you have the ability, obviously, to pull off a trade and send anybody to anybody they want to go. They don't want to go, go send a quarterback to Cleveland right now, you know what I mean, and make them wallow in the mess that's happening right there. Or you can, trade them someplace where they have an opportunity. I think that Peyton does go out of his way to make those trades where he think there might be an opportunity for the player whenever he can and still get a win for the team at the same time. I think that's a big call out, Karen. I think it's a great one because, again, I think that we've kind of turned the corner in a lot of ways. Last one. Man, this should be I should throw another hurry up, but we don't have time. Any surprise trades to shake it up again, says Peter Middleton. I'll go to Jody first on this. Do you think that there's a possible tradable player and or asset that maybe we talked about or didn't talk about on this roster right now as we come around to the deadline?
I think there's two. I think one on offense, Jaleel McLaughlin. I think on defense, Jaquan McMillan. Those would be the two for me.
Man, if you get rid of those two, though, that would save me a lot of heartache and messing up those two names when we get, especially in those post-game shows, man. I don't know what it is. Get rid of both of them. That would be fantastic. One of them might be fantastic. No, I think they're both great players, and I think there is assets for them. Trevor, I'll go to you. Do you have anything the same or different?
I would say in the running back room, I think, like I said, and like Jody said, Jaleel McLaughlin, you get something back. I don't think that there's a player on this roster that's available that the Broncos are going to be able to get value like they got for Vele, of course. I think you could get like 6th, 7th round pick for some of these guys, possibly pick swaps in there as well. But like Jaleel McLaughlin, maybe estimate, possibly again to just have to see what he does this third preseason game. That was kind of a question that I was going to ask you guys too before we left. Do you think the Broncos pull an Albert O on anybody coming up tomorrow? Do you think they go and showcase somebody to try to trade him?
Absolutely.
What player? What one player do you think they would do that to?
Audric Estime. Yeah. I mean, you got a young 5th round talent, 3rd round evaluation. Show them out, show them off. This sounds like we're all in agreement on that one.
If you're the Broncos, though, do you have to get a 5 or better to trade him, or
no?
Can you take a 6 and be happy with that?
I think so. I think you can. I mean, hopefully a high 6th. Maybe the Jacksonville Jaguars need him. Brian Robinson got traded to the Niners. Would that make McCaffrey available? Is that something that did happen?
Yeah,
I didn't. Wow.
Yeah, today.
See, I need to keep up on the news, but I can't do this all full time.
I have a wild one. I don't think this would happen, but can you see Ben Powers getting a surprise cut for somebody else? He's the one guy that I've felt kind of going to this wide scheme. It doesn't fit him at all. And even if they keep him, I think he's gone after this year with the cap and his contract and everything. I think you can replace that.
Okay, we'll do this one quick because we're already in overtime. Trevor, what do you got, man?
Yeah, no, I don't think they release him right now. But I do agree with you, Jody. I think that he's on definitely on 1-year watch. I mean, this could very well be Ben Powers' last season in Denver, but I don't think they release him this soon.
Yeah, if I felt better about the depth along this whole offensive line, maybe I'd think differently. But it's not like we've loaded up with depth across this. We were debating Clay Webb and Alex Forsyth and Calvin Throckmorton just a few moments ago. So I don't think we're in the position necessarily to let him go. But I think you're right. I don't know. I don't think he's long-term as far as beyond this year. We'll find a solution beyond that. Just a couple of quick hellos and goodbyes. Clayton coming in there saying, hey, smash that like and share button. And a great way to top off a Friday night. Clayton, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you coming in here. Long-time supporter. Appreciate you rocking in here and always reminding me, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button. It really does help us out more than you'll ever know. Best way to know is because you'll see us more and more often. It really does help the algorithms a ton. Like, share, subscribe, hit wow, hit love, hit care. I don't care. Hit any of those. The notifications are really awesome because we did like a emergency podcast when Devon Vele got traded, and that obviously shook up this 53-man roster that we had going on tonight. Never know what's going to be going on because we're going to be switching things up a little bit. Schedules are going to be changing. So look forward to that. Maybe we'll be dropping something that actually shows exactly what we got going on, a little schedule preview as well. But hey, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify. We'd love to have you along for the ride whenever you possibly can. Let's get some goodbyes out of the way, gentlemen. Trevor, I kept saying I skip over you, so now you get the first goodbye.
No worries. I'm excited to be talking 53-man roster. I mean, getting closer and closer to when the games actually matter from a score perspective. So appreciate everybody in the posse for being active in the chat and just continuing to like, share, and subscribe. We really appreciate it, and can't wait to get the season started and continue to talk Broncos football with everybody. Because this is really my favorite time of the year, and we all love doing it. I know we can speak for all of us here at DBR. So we really appreciate it. Hope everybody enjoys the game tomorrow. And again, we'll be talking 53-man roster officially Tuesday, so make sure to tune into that as well. But hope everybody has a great rest of your weekend, and as always, go Broncos.
Mr. Clayton's also going to the game with all of his sons tomorrow. He can't wait. I don't know if there's going to be anybody that enjoys the game more than maybe Clayton among the posse. I think we'll all enjoy it. I think it's going to be a great game, and we'll be able to showcase some talent, maybe some Audric Estime, right, Jody?
I agree.
Final goodbye, sir.
I just hope everyone can get through this game healthy, and I'm pulling for Audric Estime. Hopefully he balls out tomorrow. If not, hopefully we can at least get something for him. I've came to the conclusion I want the best 53 here, and if he's not one of them, so be it. This is, in my opinion, a Super Bowl ready roster as long as we stay healthy and Nix takes that next progression. So do whatever we got to do it with Nix on this rookie contract. Football's here, and I love this time of the year. We got college football we got college football tomorrow, week 0 in Dublin, and it's here next week, boys. This is my favorite time of the year.
Dang right. Best time of the year. Ernie's going to enjoy it more than Clayton because, boy, he loves his Broncos, and I don't blame you there, Ernie, man. We love our Broncos, man. I'm telling you what, it seems everyone's been a little bit quiet. Seems like that everything's kind of simmered down a little bit. And I'm telling you what, that pot's about ready to boil over, man. This Denver Broncos team is about ready to take this league by storm. I want you to all to be a part of it right here with the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast. We're going to be rocking shows left, right, and otherwise. You'll want to come along for the ride. It's going to be a fantastic season. We'll wrap it up with a preseason game tomorrow. We'll be talking 53-man roster on Tuesday. And then before you know it, we'll be talking about the kickoff. First game of the season. Can't wait to go along with on the ride with all of you all in the posse, and of course my co-host as well. To all y'all, it's been a fantastic evening. Thank you so much for the star givers, but more than anything to everybody that was part of the conversation this evening. We got to get out of here, but we do it one way only. Make sure you keep those boots in the stirrups, those guns in the holsters. Denver Broncos. Right there in your heart. Until next time, everybody, we're going to get out of here. Have a fantastic evening and have a great weekend.